Now that you've explored each of the 4Cs individually, it is time to put them all together in an upcoming curriculum unit or sequence of lessons. For this activity, in this session, you will design or redesign an instructional sequence that will lead to a final performance-based assessment that incorporates the 4Cs into the unit and final summative assessment. Learning Before Project, LBP, is what teachers do when you say you're doing projects. Most teachers have done projects with their students. In a typical unit of instruction containing a project, a teacher covers a topic with a combination of lectures, textbook readings, worksheets, activities, video programs, website visits, you name it. All kinds of instructional activities. And then the students are given an assignment to do on their own, at home or in the classroom, say, create a poster about a disease showing its effects on the body, how the body reacts, and how it's treated. These projects are displayed in the classroom and are not formally presented or discussed in detail. The unit culminates with a test emphasizing factual recall. In essence, the teacher covers the main course of the study in the usual way, and then a short project is served up for dessert. So if you look at the graphic in this slide, you can see we go from lecture, activity, quiz, review, test, and make a project. What we're going to do in this session is we're going to have the focus be more on performance-based assessment. The definition of performance-based assessment varies greatly depending on the author, discipline, publication, or intended audience. In general, a performance-based assessment measures students' ability to apply the skills and knowledge learned from a unit or units of study. So PBAs are assessments that happen after the learning experiences. In this manner, they are similar to LBP, Learning Before a Project. Typically, the task challenges students to use their higher order thinking skills to create a product or complete a process. Tasks can range from a constructed response to portfolio of learning, performance, an individual or group project. The key is that the PBA is a summative evaluation of student learning. So we're shifting you away from the traditional kind of paper pencil test and really trying to nudge it further into an actual performance where the student demonstrates their understanding of the concepts that the unit was about. Now, we're doing this, I want you to do this PBA in preparation for hopefully advancing your pedagogy to what we call PBL, which is problem-based learning. The idea of this guided exploration was to help you really unpack the 4Cs and start working them and creating that pedagogical and classroom environment that is conducive to 21st century learning so that you can transition to problem-based learning. So in the 21st century project-based learning, it is the project that's the main course. So in the PBL or LBP, that was the dessert. The main course here is the project. It contains and frames the curriculum and instruction, and students learn the material from completing the project. A main course project is intended to teach significant content. It requires critical thinking, problem solving, collaboration, and various forms of communication. There are your 4Cs. To answer a driving question and create high-quality work, students need to do much more than remember information. They need to use higher-order thinking skills and learn to work as a team. They must listen to others and make their own ideas clear when speaking, and be able to read a variety of material, write or otherwise express themselves in various modes, and make effective presentations. So project-based learning is like the culmination of a 21st century learning classroom. PBLs require inquiry as part of the process of learning and creating something new. Students ask questions, they search for answers, and arrive at conclusions, leading them to construct something new. It could be an idea, an interpretation, or a product. PBLs are organized around an open-ended driving question that focuses student work and deepens their learning by framing important issues, debates, challenges, or problems. PBLs create a need to know essential content and skills. But PBLs reverse the order in which information and concepts are traditionally presented. In a PBL, it begins with the vision of an end product or presentation, and that creates the entire context or reason to learn and understand the information and concepts. It allows for some degree of student voice and choice because the main course PBL, it's not a paint-by-numbers experience. Students learn to work independently. They take responsibility when they are asked to make choices about how they work and what they create. PBLs include processes for revision and reflection. Students learn to give and receive feedback in order to improve the quality of the products they create and are asked to think about what and how they're learning. And finally, PBLs do require a public audience. Students present their work to other people beyond their classmates and teacher, in person or online. This ups the stakes tremendously, which increases student motivation to do high quality work and adds to the authenticity of the project. So the diagram here is showing you the different steps of a PBL, beginning with a project launch, an entry event, and then you go through a sequence of activities. You take a look if you've hit the benchmark. You do you work through the whole process to get to a final presentation to an authentic audience. So in this session, we're going to put it all together. Put all those 4 C's together. The ultimate goal of transforming your classroom into a 21st century learning classroom is the enactment of PBL units of instruction. This guided exploration has prepared you for that challenge. However, before you go down the PBL path, let's try something on a much smaller scale. And so for this activity, you need to consider an instructional unit that you plan to implement in the near future, or something that you have previously taught. And you need to design or redesign the unit, focusing on the greater integration of all 4 C's of the 21st century classroom. And then to demonstrate your proficiency in those 4 C's integration, you need to design a final PBA, a performance-based assessment, a summative assessment that incorporates as many of those 4 C's in it as possible. It might not touch on all of them, that's fine. But the idea here is to get to a summative assessment for a unit that is not your typical paper pencil test. This is going to be your transition then into the world of problem-based learning. Good luck.